Oh, hey there, guys. Welcome to the channel. Just thought I'd share an update as to what's been going on with the project Goliath. I have this rather nasty looking, my iPhone cable for my car, and rather than throwing it out, I just decided to make another use for it. So it's going to be basically a fuel line going from the front of the truck to the back of the truck, or back of the rig, I guess. And yeah, why not recycle, right? Reuse everything that you can possibly can to turn into something else. So just gonna quickly crazy glue it in place and see how it looks. So you might have seen some of my other videos regarding these Tamiya kits, and I bought several of them, and I did some unboxing videos. And basically, they're 1:35 scale, accessory kits and weapons kits. They seem to work well in terms of scale with Gaslands. I mean, if you have noticed, a lot of the 3D printed guns, I mean, they tend to be on the larger side. So I thought, well, why don't I get some real looking military style parts and accessories, and just kind of customize my vehicles with these parts and see how it turns out. So the first thing I wanted to do was there was an image of a limousine that had a machine gun sticking out the side. And I thought it would be pretty cool to replicate that. So on this sprue is this like square rectangle piece of I guess like a frame, and I thought it'd look pretty cool on the side of this on the side of my limo. So the plastic piece just needed to be sanded down a little bit flat. It had a bit of a like a lip on the side of it, so I decided to just sand it smooth and make it easier for me to glue it directly to the side of the side of the limousine. And yeah, I wanted to add a few figures to the limo itself. I kind of like the idea of like sort of like a commander, being led in a big chariot. So I thought, well, why don't I take this particular one here and glue him in place and make sure that the limo body can still be removed on and off. He's actually like a 1:72 scale figure, and got quite a few of these actually. So they work quite well with the 1:64 scale. They look pretty good. So I decided that I did want to add some machine guns to the limo, and the body of this Majorette Limo had, I guess, like the rear, I don't know, the boomerang head broke off of it, and I left this like gap. So on the sprue, the weapon sprue that came in that truck accessories kit actually had a machine gun, and the little base for it actually seemed to want to fit right in that hole. So that's where it was going to be, and decided to have a rear-mounted heavy machine gun sticking out back. I mean, really, with this thing being a monster truck, and really capable of just crushing over everything, I thought, well, the front of itself is a weapon, and the back, I mean, anybody chasing it might not want to come too close, because otherwise they're gonna just be taken out by the heavy machine gun. And yeah, and I thought it just worked perfect in this spot. It was a little bit of a pain to glue it in place. I ended up just using like some standard modeling glue, and that seemed to help, as well as crazy glue itself. So to try to keep using as much as I can off this of the sprues that came in this truck accessory kit, I thought, well, it'd be kind of cool to put like a handle, some kind of a bar, almost like a bar that someone can kind of grab onto when they're getting in and out of the truck. I left the steps, as you can see, from another truck model, and to climb up inside this thing, they're gonna have to climb onto something or grip onto something. So I thought, well, these handles would work perfectly, creating like a big bar on the side. And sorry for the camera angle, I do apologize, but just imagine that you can see me gluing it to the side of the door.
Cereal? Nah.
And moving back to the rear machine gun, I had this, I don't know, I guess it's kind of like a weapon, like a shield from my Pack 40 kit. This is the same kit that I built two trucks earlier. I'll try to remember to put a card here for that video. And basically, I utilized the guns from that kit to build two 125 millimeter basically cannons, and then there's a lot of other parts, in the kit that are reusable. So I thought I put this on the rear of the limo, and then have it as a shield for someone that wanted to sit in the back of the limo and be able to just shoot, be able to reach out and use the machine gun, destroying enemies sneaking up behind the whole crew here. So I thought it'd be pretty cool to add a driver to the vehicle. I mean, originally I wanted to add like a full crew to this thing, and like on the inside, but I kind of thought, well, some of the guys are going to be outside, some of them will be inside. So I definitely wanted a driver, and so in the same Pack 40, like the German kit, there's this, I guess he's a gunner, and he's got this like molded wheel on his arm. He's actually missing a hand, which I didn't quite notice at first, but that's totally fine because we're gonna make use of that anyways. But what I wanted to do was, originally this skull that I had left over in my bits box from Warhammer was gonna be on like a hood ornament, but then I thought, well, why don't I just make it into a helmet? So I thought it would be kind of cool to replace the head with this skull, and make it look like it's like a cool, creepy looking biker helmet. That's just a full skull instead of like a skull mask instead of like a human head. So this is what he looks like. Once I paint it, I mean, it'll look kind of like a like a proper helmet. I think it looks pretty cool. So yeah, basically I just glue him in place. I'm using just standard modeling glue here. Sometimes you can use crazy glue, and I use hot glue as well. But I've been actually just using a little bit of the modeling glue, where plastic on plastic. It's good because it really bonds quite well when the plastics are basically melted together. And then just to kind of speed things up a little bit, I spent some time just adding more bits from the same truck accessories kit, and I kind of put draperies on one side, and then I also added tail light bucket, I guess, armor pieces to the top to kind of put like something in front of the commander to protect him when he sticks his head up through the sunroof. But anyways, we'll kind of walk through all those details, a little bit more at the very, very end. What I wanted to do here is to try to get the screen figured out. Just kind of wanted to have at least one, piece of screening on the car. My main goal was to leave all the doors fully functional. I kind of wanted to just leave them being able to open and close. I mean, this car has that ability, so I didn't want to mess with adding screen on everything, and decided to just make the front, replace the front windshield with this mesh screening, which is standard drywall screening is basically what I'm using here. I'm going to shoot a video on just several different types that I use, but for this one, it's just the standard drywall screening. It's a little bit sticky already, so then it kind of helps to hold itself in place when you glue it. So I quite like it, and yeah, this is how the interior is looking. I also wanted to add a few extra bits. I was still kind of contemplating adding like a blanket and just a few other accessories like after it's all painted. So I might actually do that. Again, the idea was that this limo was the I don't know, I guess like a leader's chariot, and I figured, if he's hanging out on the inside of this thing, you might want to have his own accessories. I couldn't really fit a TV, so maybe another time we'll get that going on something else. But you can only use your imagination so far, right? For the headlights, I'm going to paint them white. I'm going to leave them separately, and I'm going to have to clip them off and glue them into the body once everything else is painted. But this is basically it. Pretty satisfied with this. I didn't want to go too overboard with all the add-on parts. I thought it had more than enough stuff on it. I was trying to decide if I wanted to add like a bike ramp to the back, but I might do that on a future build, and I decided to paint everything in gray primer. I forgot to mask off the wheels. Not a big deal, because I'm going to paint them all at once anyways, and kind of wanted to get rid of all the chrome, so just painting everything satin gray is the way to go. The machine gun kind of broke off a little bit, but it's just glue. I'll just glue it back in place once everything is done. And anyways, hopefully you guys like this update. Please let me know in the comment section down below, and hopefully you guys are all staying safe and having a great weekend. Thank you.